If you're watching this video, there might be only two reasons why you're watching this video. Either you are a candidate for the future exam, or you've already given the exam and you are pretty pissed off. So just hang on. Let me explain it to you what exactly happened. Sudden crash which has happened finally after Feb, right, in which you had about the usual amount of students actually who passed on the exam. But after that, there's a serial drop on the pass rates. It's gone from 25% now all the way up to 22%, right? Some facts before we actually try to obsess over this. The first is the proportion of deferrals, okay, has significantly increased from December onwards. So there were higher amount of deferrals which actually happened from December to May. The second is that the MPS method hasn't really changed, right? This we have I've actually gone and read, and if there is any method of finding out the MPS, if it has changed, CFA Institute, since it preaches about ethics so much, it has to clarify that, right? So they haven't done such. And the third is the COVID effect on the preparation, which I feel is the major reason why this happened. But let's not jump into the conclusions, right? We're analysts, so we have to look at data properly. So how does MPS work? So if you're a CFA candidate and if you've not actually never paid attention on how the MPS works, let me explain it to you. It's just a very simple method, all right? So first is the exam, right? So the exam happens. Then if there are CFA charter holders who are part of the board of governors of CFA Institute, who actually give the exam one by one, like one after the other, right? And in each of their attempts, they actually mark on what an average candidate can actually score in that specific question. And such numerous simulations are done, and then this is obviously done in a very scientific way with all the methods possible, which I don't really know technically which are the methods which are used to ensure that these methods will finally work. I don't know if that really makes sense, but anyway, so that's the attempt which is done, and then the aggregate score is actually calculated, and that becomes the MPS. So that method hasn't really changed, and of course the board of governors of CFA Institute have also not changed. So that brings us to the question that if the MPS method has not changed, then what has changed? Now let's try to understand if the CBT effect, the online testing effect, had any material difference on this exam. Well, it would have shown in the Feb attempt as well, right? But Feb attempt, the number of students passed was high, right? The number of questions have reduced. Now there are two ways of looking at this. At one angle, I can say that it's become easier, but what I feel, yes, this can have an effect, because unfortunately in the previous testing method, the same subject used to get tested twice. So you had more opportunity to perform better even if you have not done well in the first session. So that has gone. But I would again counter argue myself, stating that if that was an effect at all, then possibly the Feb attempt results would have shown that, right? The duration is reduced, so the pressure of sitting for a 6-hour exam has reduced, and more attempts. Like imagine when we were preparing for CFA, we had to actually just obsess about the fun day in which we had to give exam, but now we've got more attempts. So that shouldn't be a problem. And my final opinion is that the deferral uncertainty is the main issue to blame, because I come across a lot of candidates who keep talking to me stating that they're trying to apply for a deferral because of some COVID reasons that has happened, but unfortunately they have not got any reply from CFA Institute. But at the same time, the same student is not even preparing for the exam for which he's already registered. Also, what I feel is that since there a lot of deferrals by default happened during COVID, I think the people who actually got the deferral window, finally I think the preparation was out of place, right? Because I've seen a lot of candidates, because a lot of these candidates were again taking training in classroom sessions, but that got entirely dismantled. And possibly because of that also there might be an effect. There are a lot of people who are talking about change of study habits. Now I don't know whether the study habits have also changed materially in COVID. I don't think so. People study, they should get more time to study now, right? But I feel the main issue the disruption has been the COVID, right? You have to blame the COVID because of high uncertainty on whether an exam will actually take place or not take place, because it happened in the past that the exams actually got cancelled. In fact, right now also a lot of exams in some countries I heard got cancelled. So the expectation or the disruption of that focus that your exam is going to be on a certain date, and then finally the exam not happening, and then when you get a new attempt, by then possibly a lot of other things happen in usually in life, right? And the preparation goes for a toss. See any material change in the way CFA actually controls the number of candidates who pass out, because 25% pass rate does look like a 4 standard deviation event, as a lot of people have talked about. They've calculated standard deviation in results also, but I feel it's just a temporary thing. All you need to do is, in my opinion, hit the books. It's affected a lot of things, right? It has affected the aviation industry, it has affected the travel industry, it has affected the IT industry, it has affected everything. So I don't think so even CFA was spared in this process, and that's the effect that we saw. So nothing much to worry about. Expect normalization by November. It is a new video just coming up every week on finance, investment banking, career guidances. So if you want to stay updated with such content, please do subscribe to our channel.